Hello, people. Going out on a touch of a tangent here for our material on this project. Some of you have asked me to go in this direction a little bit, so I will humor you and I will try. I mean, certainly having had pretty well 25 years of doing this under my belt, and certainly having from very early on come at this lifestyle from a unique perspective, one that recognizes the necessity to seek freedom and resilience, and how those ideas and those capacities or characteristics are really joined at the hip. They make what we call autonomy. That all leads into this whole conversation about philosophy and piracy and all the rest that we've been working on for a while here. And yes, it's true that over the last couple of years we had a lot of conversations about current events, and there was predictions made of how this was going to unfold, and well, here we are. To me, that feels kind of like ancient history. It seemed pretty evident that it was coming. But again, it takes not just intelligence to analyze these things, but it takes a set of things. It takes intelligence and honesty and courage and the ability to act. It takes all of those things if a person is going to face the future or even their present honestly and robustly. And in reality, let me just be completely honest about it, most of us live lifestyles that do not encourage much of that. If you're going to have a robust intelligence, honesty, courage, and ability to act, you're going to have to make real compromises in your life, and you're going to have to live unconventionally. And I have recognized that for years, and I have for years lived unconventionally. So, I mean, there is a popular idea out there that you hear a lot of if you're going to discuss ideas such as freedom. It's the whole adage, the freedom from or the freedom to. It's the suggestion that you have to know both what it is that you want as well as the things that you don't want in order to find freedom. And that's true in a superficial sense. The problem with that idea is that most of us have not put the time and effort into investigating ourselves enough to even know what it is we do want or don't want. And so often what we do is pursue the cliche that we believe will meet the need or ameliorate the fear or the concern that we think we superficially are avoiding or seeking. And we can spend a lifetime of effort chasing after things which are simply placeholders for something that we seek that is much, much, much more deep. And while we might achieve the object that we think we want, it may come at the cost of never, ever, ever finding true satisfaction. And honestly, that's a pretty terrifying prospect. And while I don't want to be too melodramatic, I mean, it is a fact that I grew up as the son of a small town undertaker, and I have been to a lot of funerals, and I have stuffed a lot of people in boxes, and I have seen the final analysis of a lot of lives. And if we are honest, intelligent, courageous, well, a lot of lives are not that satisfactory, let's just say. And it has always been a major drive for me to not neglect my responsibility to the gift of life that I have been given, and to make a real attempt to live as best I am able, and certainly to share along the way the tools, techniques, hacks, and strategies that I have found to be useful to making sure that I stay engaged with the needs and the desires of that true self, rather than to be too distracted by the superficial. And that's hard in the day and age or the world that we live in, because distracting people with the superficial is probably the most important industry on planet Earth. It's got deep pockets, it's well funded, it's incredibly profitable, and there are a lot of people who want to take your money to assure you stay dissatisfied. And dissatisfaction is critical. It's a feature, not a bug. It's dissatisfied people that are out there shopping. Satisfied people spend time with those they love. So anyway, having said that, for those of you that kind of put me up to this, let me answer, because I know you're saying, well, this isn't where I wanted you to take the conversation at all. See, I'm trying to hear the needs behind the request. Look, we've just come off the period of the greatest wealth that human civilization has ever created for itself. And while it is that some of us are contemplating the end of the world, the fact is that world's already ended. It's done. It's been gone for a couple of years now. It's just that the ripple effects are being felt. I would encourage any of us to look at that with a sense of opportunity rather than dread. You've also come out of a world in which the distraction of the superficial was elevated to a level of irresistibility for many of us. And in fact, that era of prosperity didn't help us find what it is that we find precious. It actually made it very difficult to try to access it. Now, in this brave new world that we're entering into, the stakes are higher and you have less to lose. You have less to lose. So maybe now you are being provided with an opportunity to take a chance and to spend some time in quietude, living lives that facilitate the ability to seek that true self where you couldn't have afforded it before in that world of fabulous prosperity. Wouldn't that be something? Or at least that is how I've come to see it. Anyway, we will explore this idea a bit more in a small series here. If any of you have questions that are particular into how my myopic, egocentric mind might be better suited to guide the conversation, well, I would be very happy to do so. I mean, it is my intent here to facilitate. And anyway, I'm looking forward to having a conversation. Cheers.